Hey, what's up everyone? This is Julie here. Welcome to my YouTube channel for Nurse Aide Instructors. My channel isn't just for Nurse Aide Instructors, although that is my primary focus. But if you're any health science instructor or academic teacher, this channel may have some information that could be helpful to you, okay? So if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, kick the like button on this video and all of my other videos, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload new content. I know it has been ages since I've uploaded a video to this channel. I'm trying to get it to grow. So I'll probably, I've been really busy with my other channel. As a matter of fact, if you have not yet subscribed to my other channel, please do so. Go to www.youtube.com/C/Julie Reynolds NatSap. That's NATCEP consultant. Okay, www.youtube.com/C/Julie Reynolds NatSap consultant. And I ask you to do so because I would really love for you to start reviewing some of the comments that our students, and when I say our, I mean all over the world, okay, are saying, the comments that they are making, the questions that they are asking, okay? And this will hopefully help open your eyes and allude you to what our students are thinking. Hold on, guys. I just got a message pop up there. But it will help you. It definitely will, okay? And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 4 most common mistakes that we as nurse aide instructors can make when we are training our students. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I have one subscriber who is, I believe, a novice instructor. Is his or her first time instructing, and there's some confusion with how he or she wants to train the student versus how the program director is telling him or her to train the students when it comes to hands-on skills. So he had a lot of questions, and I actually did a live video on my first channel. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch it. This video is just going to be a repeat of that video, but it probably won't last as long. So guys, let's go ahead and dive into these problems, okay? So the first mistake that we as nurse aide instructors can make is intermixing or integrating what the CNA does or how the CNA performs nursing tasks in real life to how the nurse aide candidate should perform testable skills during testing, okay? And the reason why I say this is a big mistake is because you have to realize our students under Pearson VUE, okay, under Pearson VUE, are given 30 minutes to complete 5 skills, okay? 30 minutes to complete 5 skills. If you break it down, that's 6 minutes per skill. And we all know that your more complex skills like modified bed bath and pericare, those are going to take a little bit longer than 6 minutes, right? So with every skill, you want to try to be conservative with that time frame that it takes your students to perform a skill. Now, if we start integrating what the CNA should do or how they should perform a nursing task in real life to what is required of the nurse aide candidate, or how it is required of the nurse aide candidate to perform certain skills for testing, you're taking away from their time, okay? You are totally taking away from their time, and that's not fair to them, Okay, it is not fair to your students. Now, a good example would be with feeding the dependent client. Yes, in real life, we would offer the person a clothing protector, right? We would offer them a clothing protector, and we would let them know, this clothing protector will help protect your clothes from any food spills or liquid spills, right? But in testing, it's not required for the nurse aide candidate to do that under Pearson VUE. Okay, I'm not talking about Headmaster. I'm not talking about Prometric. I'm talking about Pearson VUE. It is not required for the student to do that. So why train them to do that for testing when they don't have to? That's taking away from their time. That's eating their time up. Another good example is with the skill assist with use of bedpan. In real life, yeah, we would place a linen protector. It is best practice, right, to place a linen protector underneath the person before we place the bedpan, just in case there's any spills when we're removing that bedpan, right? But for testing, the nurse aide candidate is not required to do so for Pearson VUE. Okay, again, I have to stress Pearson VUE because for Prometric and Headmaster is totally different, okay? But for Pearson VUE, if you are instructing under Pearson VUE, it's not required. That's not a required step. So you are wasting your students' time when it comes to testing because they will have to place that linen protector and then they will have to remove it. And I know you're probably saying, oh, Julie, it only takes a couple of seconds to place it and a couple of seconds to remove it. But those couple of seconds add up. Those couple of seconds add up to minutes, especially if you are training your students to perform real life actions for all your other testable skills. And that is time, those seconds, those minutes can actually be used for their more complex skills if they're required to perform a complex skill. Okay, are y'all following me, right? Now, I am going to tell you, I'm speaking honestly. I'm speaking honestly. I know I may get, a lot of, slammed for this video. And honestly, I welcome it. I really do. I welcome it, right? Because I want to hear your opinions, okay? Whether you agree with me or not. I've been teaching off and on nurse aide training for, this stint is 5 years. I trained for 4, so like 9 years, almost going on 10 years, okay? And I network with a lot of folks, okay? I network with a lot of folks. So I get a lot of information, really informative, useful information that I share in my teachings, okay? And I share in my instruction with my students and with my YouTube subscribers, okay? It is not, I repeat, it is not a good thing to integrate the two. It really isn't. Now, during lecture, when we're lecturing and we're teaching theory, that is when we demonstrate to our students how to perform certain nursing tasks in real life, such as bed making or changing, emptying the urinary drainage bag or feeding or assisting with the bedpan, pericare, right? Pericare is another good example. In real life, 99.9% of hospitals and nursing rehab centers use wet wipes or peri wipes to clean the person. In testing, however, the CNA or the nurse aide student is requested or is required to use water, soap, washcloths, and towels. Okay, when does that happen in real life? Okay, the only time that happens in real life is if the patient has had an explosive bowel movement. Okay, then we would use it. We would probably take that person to the shower to get cleaned, right? But in testing, it is not required, right? Or they don't use wipes during testing. They have to use the washcloth, towels, and water and soap to clean, but that's not how it's done in real life, right? So I know that you are not going to demonstrate this testable skill, how it's done in real life, right? For your students to learn for testing, you're going to demonstrate to them how to do it for testing, how it's required for them to do it in testing. So the same way with feeding and bedpan, right? Show them, demonstrate to them how to do it for testing. Once you start adding in reality steps, you're going to take away from your students' time. Big mistake, big mistake. You can agree to disagree with me, but I've seen it. And I've seen students that, they perform the skill really good, but because they did not perform within that 30 minutes time frame, they failed their skills exam. And you know why they didn't perform in that 30-minute time frame? Because they were actually performing acts that they would normally perform in real life, acts that are not required of them to do during testing, okay? And they fail. So if you're doing that, please stop. Don't, okay? And if you're just starting to train, you have to separate the two, okay? You have to learn how to separate. During theory, when we're lecturing, right, because that's real life, this is how you're going to perform nursing tasks. These are the questions that you need to ask. This is how you need to document. This is how you need to communicate with your residents and staff. This is, what you need to do if a person is on isolation precautions, right? This is real life, okay? Then you go to your lab area and you demonstrate these nursing tasks, how to perform them in a real life environment, okay? Then on the flip side of the coin, now you have to demonstrate to them how to perform skills for testing. You want to not integrate what they do in real life with testing, okay? Look in your book. If it doesn't say offer the person a clothing protector or place a clothing protector on the person, then don't. Okay, don't show them that. And you have to tell them this is real life, but this is what is required for you in testing. Okay, so you don't have to do what you would do in real life for testing. All right, that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is losing your curiosity. Yes. And when I tell folks this, when I'm consulting with them, the most common response is, what does curiosity have to do with me training my nurse aide students? Honey, let me tell you, it has a lot to do with you training your nurse aide students. Once you lose that curiosity, you stop asking questions. You close your mind. Your mind is like this now. So what people are telling you on the outside this way and on the outside this way, you're not listening to. You're just like this. You're moving forward just like this, okay? You're not open to suggestions. You're not open to advice. And when someone tells you or, shares teaching strategies with you, you don't want to listen. You don't want to hear it, right? And the bad thing about this, the saddest thing about this, is if you are one of those instructors that has a low student pass rate, that is really bad on you, right? Because you are going to stagnate yourself. When you are curious, you research, you investigate, you ask questions, you try new things, okay? You try new teaching and learning strategies. So you are forever learning, you are forever growing. And your students, this will help your students, be able to connect, certain nursing tasks with real life and real life with nursing tasks, especially when you go to clinical, right? This will actually help your students when it comes to testing, because you are open to new strategies. You are curious. You are researching. I tell you, not a day goes by where I do not get on my computer and research. I research all the time, right? There is not a day that goes by where I do not reach out to someone, okay? Reach out to one of my folks in my network, okay? And I'm constantly growing my network, constantly. So you have to keep curiosity alive. You really do. You have to keep curiosity alive. You have to keep asking questions. I will ask, a novice or new instructor, to give me suggestions. Or if a new instructor comes with a suggestion, I'll be like, hey, that's pretty good. Like, why didn't I think of this, right? So it doesn't matter. I don't think I'm all the way up here because I'm an experienced instructor. I will still take advice and suggestions from someone who is new, okay? I have no problems with that. Your problem arises when you think you already know everything, and that's the third mistake. Thinking or believing that you already know it all. I'm here to tell you, no one on this earth knows everything. It's just a fact. No one knows everything. So for you to think as a nurse aide instructor that you know everything and that no one can tells you, or, no one's suggestions or advice can help you, you're going to stagnate yourself. And what's worse, you're going to stagnate your students because you are not willing to try something new. Curiosity, keeping your curiosity alive, and also not believing that you know everything linked together. They really do. They link together. Like I said, I like to think I know a lot. There's a difference between knowing a lot and knowing everything. Do I know a lot? Yeah, I would like to think I know a lot, but do I know everything? No. I will be the first to tell you when you ask me a question, I don't know. Okay, I have no shame in my game of saying I don't know. I have no shame in my game with someone coming to me and say, hey, I see you demonstrated this act or this step like this, but this is how I do it. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with, maybe you should try this or try. I have absolutely no problem with that. And I will tell you this, because I do not believe I know everything. I'm always inheriting something from someone. I inherit teaching strategies from my sister, who is a 3rd and 4th grade academic teacher. Those strategies may not be age appropriate for my high school students, but I make it age appropriate. I inherit it. I add stuff in. I take stuff away. I add some lemon and lime, give it a little twist, make it age appropriate, and make it to where it will be, or my students will be responsive to it, okay? What works for one class may not work for another class, okay? But it's all trial and error. It is all trial and error when we're coming up with these teaching strategies. So if it works for one class, I'm going to use it. If it doesn't work for another class, guess what? I have a plan B. I'm going to pull out another strategy that I could use for another class, right? But you have to be able and willing and open to suggestions, especially if you have a low pass rate, and not just, your training institution in itself as a whole, but you as an instructor. What is your student pass rate? What is your student first time pass rate, right? Because we all want our students to pass the very first time, so they won't have that heavy weight on their shoulder, knowing that they have to go through this again, right? So what is your First time student pass rate. What is your overall pass rate? Again, if it's below 90, you need to you need to get up and stand up and start, taking advice from folks, right? Because that's people look at that as public knowledge, as to what the pass rate is for certain training institutions, or for all training institutions. As a matter of fact, I can go online and Google a training institution's pass rate and see it. It's public knowledge, right? But if you're holding steady at a 70% pass rate, or 75 or 80% pass rate, or I've seen some pass rates in the 50s, right? If you're holding steady at that, and you're not willing to open your mind to new suggestions, or, new methods on how you train your students, it may be time for you to think of a different career. It really is, because you're not there for the student. You're there for yourself, and you're there for a paycheck. That's the way I see it. Okay. If you're there for your student, you would be doing, researching and doing what you can to increase that pass rate. Okay. If I had a 70% pass rate and I knew of someone that had 100% pass rate, I'm going to network with that person, and I'm going to find out what he or she does to get 100% pass rate and maintain it. Okay. Now I have maintained 100% pass rate all training cycles, all years that I have taught nurse aide training. And I've held a 98.25% pass rate, first time pass rate. Okay. 98% first time pass rate, 100% pass rate overall. And it wasn't just till last year where I had 2 students that did not pass the written portion. They passed their skills, but did not pass the written portion of their exam. And unfortunately, they decided not to retake it. Okay, so that has left me at a 98% first time pass rate, but my overall pass rate is 100%. Okay, 100%. And I always get the question when I consult, how do I do it? How do I do it? Well, I'm telling you how I do it. I don't mix in reality with what's required of the nurse aide candidate to do in testing. I keep my curiosity alive, and I do not believe I know everything. I do not. If you have not yet attended any of the Big Ten conferences in Austin, they hold these conferences every 5 years, or even if there's an intermediate update or intermittent update, they will hold these conferences. And let me tell you, this is where you can have your voice heard. You may not receive the answer that you want, or you may not even receive an answer at all, but at least you'll be able to ask questions and make comments. Okay. And I'll tell you, at these conferences, this is where you can grow your network, right? I walk around, I introduce myself, and then I scope out the place, right? And if I see over here, right, are nurse aide instructors, because usually the nurse aide instructors usually gather together, and the evaluators gather together. So I look to see who is where. And if I have instructors over here and evaluators over here, guess where I'm going to sit? I'm going to sit over here with the evaluators, right? Because I want to learn. I want to hear what they are talking about amongst themselves, right? And this will also give me the opportunity to actually network. Hey, can I get your email? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook? This will give me the opportunity to, they don't give you the book, but they'll have all the skills with all the updates, in a packet on a sheet of paper. And that's the time where I can turn around and say, hey, you know what? What exactly, like, how do they expect us to train our students on these skills if these steps are confusing us? Like, can you clarify this step for me? Like, what is it actually asking the nurse aide candidate to do? How is it asking them, or, how is it asking them to perform this step? Please clarify. Okay. And that's how I was able to, create these grid sheets for Pearson VUE. Because I asked questions. My curiosity stayed alive. I did not believe I knew everything, right? And it stayed alive, and I was able to, complete or create these grid sheets, with the information that I received from people in my network, okay? From people in my network. And that's going to bring me to the fourth biggest mistake that, we as instructors can make. And that is not, I repeat, not listening to our students. Every year, at the end of the training cycle, and I'll also, pop in some questions during training, but usually at the end of the training cycle, we'll spend the class period, or I will spend the class period, allowing the students to evaluate me as their instructor. And I will ask, I'm sorry guys, I keep getting these message pop-ups. Let me get that off the screen. And I will ask them, how was I as an instructor? Is there anything that I could do to improve my instruction or my training? What were some strategies that were used during your training that were helpful, and what strategies did you find not so helpful, right? And why do I say listen to your students? Guys, it's your students who are learning. It's your students who are taking the exam. They would know best. They would know best how they learn. They would know best what strategies worked and what strategies didn't. Okay, just because I created a strategy doesn't mean that if my student comes to me and say, Ms. J, this strategy is whack, like this activity, it doesn't make any sense. It's not helping us. Do you think I'm going to say, well, you know what? I created it. I'm still going to use it? No, I'm going to say, you know what? Let's trash this bad boy, right? It doesn't work for you. I'm going to try it next year for another class, right? Or during the next training cycle to see if it works for them, right? And if it works for the next training cycle, fine. If it doesn't, I'm going to put it on the back burner and wait for the next year, right? You have to listen to your students. And I find that with my first channel, a lot of the comments that are being made is that instructors don't listen to their students. Right? They're not empathetic to their students' learning needs. Instructors, what are we doing? Why are we here? Right? And like I said earlier, I know some instructors that are just in it for the paycheck, and really the pay ain't that great, right? You can make more working for an agency as a bedside nurse. So if you are teaching, if you are training, you have to be in it for the passion. For the passion, not only for training and not only for learning, but to see your students succeed, to help your students succeed. If you are not, it's time for you to say bye-bye to, instructing. It really is. Like I said, I'm going to be honest with you all, and I'm going to be raw. I'm going to be raw with you. I've heard a lot of people say that, the quality of nurse aides is diminishing. And it's true, it is. As the years go on, you can see less and less good quality, effective nurse aides. But have you ever thought why? I mean, really, have you ever thought why? Especially if there are green nurse aides coming, coming into employment. Have you ever thought why? Have you ever thought, I wonder what their nurse aide instructor was like, right? I wonder what their nurse aide instructor was like. You have to keep in mind, keep to the forefront of your mind that as an instructor, our students' performance is a reflection of our leadership, our teaching, our instruction, and our training. Okay, meaning that how your students perform is usually a reflection of how you teach, how you train, how you instruct. So if you have a 70% pass rate, what do you think, or how do you think people are going to think about you and your training and your instruction, right? But if you have 100% pass rate or 90 or above percent pass rate, they're going to say, wow, they must have a really good instructor, right? So folks, I just don't know what else to say. I really don't. You can either take what I give to you and carry it forward into your classrooms, or you can say, forget Julie. Like, who is she, right? All I'm here to do is to, try to enlighten you and share with you, what I see, especially when I consult. Okay. Yeah. And I get some really surprising, but not so surprising, comments made during consultations with, especially my experienced instructors. And, a lot of times, like I said, I'm an honest person. I'm an honest person. And that's what I want in return. Honesty. Y'all are not going to hurt my feelings. But I will ask them, why are you still teaching? Like, it doesn't seem like you have a passion for this. Why are you still teaching? Maybe you want to rethink your career. Okay. But hey, if you need some consultation services, yes, you can go to my Facebook page. Okay. It is www.facebook.com/ what is it? Does it have something in the middle? I don't think so. Nurse Aide Instructor. Okay, I think that's what it is. I can't even remember my own page. Or just go to Facebook and go to, Nurse Aide Instructors. Okay, and my Facebook page should pop up. Or you can go to my website, www.juliereynoldsnatsapconsultant.com. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so confused here. www.natsapconsultant.com. Okay. Lord have mercy. I got to wake up, right? But hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, like I said, you can either, agree to agree with me, or you can agree to disagree with me. I would love to hear your comments below. I welcome any questions. I welcome any comments, as long as they are respectful. If you write anything disrespectful on my channel, underneath my comments, I'm going to silence you. I'm going to mute you, and I'm going to report you. Okay. We're all adults. We should be able to, agree to agree and or agree to disagree, as adults, because like I said, we're all different. We all have our different ways that we teach, train, and instruct, and we should respect that. I just doing these videos to open up your eyes and open up your mind to new ideas, new strategies, and just to share with you what I see, when it comes to nurse aide instructors. Okay, because I do consult. And I consult a lot of instructors along with nurse aide candidates. And so I get, a lot of surprising comments, I guess you could say, when I do these consultations. But again, hey, let's, in closing, again, the 4 biggest mistakes that we can make as nurse aide instructors is, integrating reality and testing, losing our curiosity, thinking or believing that we know everything, and not listening to our students. Which one trumps the other? I don't know. It's a close race, right? Because I think that they are all up here. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. I will start trying to drop more videos on this channel. If you have any suggestions or any ideas on what type of informational videos you would like for me to do, please comment below, or you can leave a message in the discussion area of this channel. I want this channel to grow like my first channel, okay? Guys, I guess that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. See you later. Ciao.